So who controls it? Who controls hunger and satiety in the body here? It is this structure right there. That is the hypothalamus for those scoring at home. The hypothalamus is part of the diencephalon for those that know it. Diencephalon includes the epithalamus, which is right here with the pineal gland, the thalamus, and then the hypothalamus, which communicates with the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is the master control. Well, the hypothalamus is the master control, but the pituitary gland is a huge producer of hormones associated with the endocrine system. And it's these hormones that play a huge part in affecting the drive to find food or, I'm content. I don't need to find any food. There are a number of hormones that do it. I didn't go through all of them. I think maybe 5, 6, I don't know. I just went through some of the major ones. I didn't go through every single one of them. There are many. There are many. Some are stress-related hormones, okay? Like cortisol. I didn't even get into cortisol. Cortisol can stimulate the hypothalamus to stimulate hunger because of what it causes. It causes inflammation, increased metabolic activity for no reason at all. And that increases hunger because you need more food. So what are the major hormones? If I was a betting man, I would know the hormones. I would know who secretes them. I would know what they do. But that's me. And that's not you. But that was me. If I was studying this stuff for an exam in a couple weeks, that's what I would look at when it comes to these hormones. Who produces it and what does the hormone do? The two most important hormones are listed on this slide. Ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, as you can see, is stimulated by the stomach or secreted by the stomach and is stimulating you to go find food. And actually, if you inject ghrelin into laboratory animals, it elicits a food-seeking behavior. They go to find food, even though they're full. Fascinating. And these little rats, these little mice can eat and eat and eat and eat. People report also feeling hungry even when they're full. So this is something that they've tested on some individuals as well. So ghrelin, secreted by the stomach, stimulates eating, stimulates hunger. Ghrelin is also secreted by the small intestine as well. So small intestine, the pancreas, and the brain. So for those scoring at home that know ghrelin, because you may have had A&P or physiology or whatever, there are other ones that can stimulate eating. Cortisol does, okay? But ghrelin's the only one. Ghrelin by the stomach, that's all you need to know, okay? Stomach secretes the vast majority of it. Small intestine, pancreas, brain, they secrete a little bit of it as well. But stomach is the only one you're going to remember. And that's fine with me because that's all I have on the slide. The other one is the opposite. Leptin is secreted by fat. What? See, fat's not all bad. Well, yeah, it's not all bad. Adipose, fat, secretes leptin. It helps to reduce hunger. Okay. This is what it basically does here. High levels tell the brain that you have plenty of fat stored and you're fine. Don't go food. I got food right here on my love handle. You need it, I got you. Low levels of leptin secreted inform the brain that you don't have enough fat stored. And so it will actually cause you to go find food. Or the sensation to not be hungry is less, so the drive to find food is greater. Interesting. This is almost akin, this is what they believe, that individuals who are obese This is why they cannot lose the weight. It's a leptin issue. It's referred to as a leptin insensitivity. And for individuals who are obese, right, they have a lot of fat. So if they have all this fat, it should tell them that, hey, you're cool. I got a little bit here for us in case something happens. So don't go find food. You're fine. So it should reduce hunger. But actually, in individuals who are obese, their drive to go find food is actually higher. And that's not how leptin works under normal conditions. So they refer to it as basically a leptin insensitivity. They have all this fat and it's basically screaming, you're fine, don't go eat, but they can't hear it. It's just like sugar. It's just like a sugar imbalance, okay? All that sugar, and they don't see it. And they have to produce more and more insulin over time. And then after a while, it just burns out, right? And then they got to do the injections all the time. Same thing here, except I don't believe there are some leptin-based supplements out on the market, I believe. But for whatever reason, they haven't been as effective in individuals as if I was to use this on a lab rat or a lab mouse, lab animal of some sort, okay? I know of an individual who took some leptin supplements, leptin-based supplements, and they were not overweight or over fat, obese or anything like that. And it didn't really do anything for them. It didn't do anything to reduce hunger or cravings or anything like that, which is what it was supposed to do. So yeah, but that's how leptin should work. High levels tell you have plenty of fat stored, so you don't eat. Use your body fat should go down. And as your body fat goes down, low levels of it will actually stimulate you to go find some food. So, but they're finding that's not what are actually happening in individuals who are obese. So leptin could be a major key to that. Is that tied to the OB gene? Maybe. We don't know. What are some of the other major hormones associated with affecting hunger and satiety? We have peptide YY. Peptide YY is produced by the intestines. I didn't write that down here, so I apologize. Intestines. Okay. Peptide YY secreted by the small and the large intestine. I think for the most part, I believe it's small, but it's secreted by both, so small and large intestine. And it basically tells the stomach to reduce your ghrelin secretion. Okay. Ghrelin, when it gets secreted, stimulates eating. So if I reduce ghrelin secretion, it reduces hunger. So it reduces that drive to go eat. Amylin is secreted by the pancreas. And this acts on the stomach as well. You're going to find the vast majority of these are all acting on the stomach. But amylin is secreted by the pancreas, and it affects the stomach by slowing the gastric secretion or gastric emptying. Gastric means stomach. So this slows the stomach from emptying. So if the stomach takes longer to completely empty, you're going to be more content. You're going to feel more full. And this helps to reduce hunger. And then another one coming from the fat. Fat does a lot of stuff. Adiponectin. Adiponectin is produced by the adipose tissue, like I just said, and it helps your muscles to uptake fatty acids. Okay. So, got some fat stores. Awesome. Leptin's working, right? got these fat stores. Adiponectin gets secreted by these fat cells, causes them to, it stimulates them to undergo metabolism basically. So I take those triglycerides out of there, free fatty acid chains, and it increases the muscle's ability to uptake free fatty acids and utilize it for energy. Fantastic. So this one actually is working hand in hand with leptin, because if I have high levels of fat on me, adipose, their leptin is telling the brain, I got you covered, and then releases adiponectin to get those triglycerides or those free fatty acids out of storage and get them in to the muscles. All of these guys, ghrelin, leptin, peptide YY, amylin, hell, cholecystokinin. We talked about cholecystokinin way back when. Talked about it in the digestive tract. Talked about it here in various different types of metabolism. Cholecystokinin secreted by what? Secreted into the pancreas. Cholecystokinin slows down the emptying of the stomach to help to induce satiety. So, I mean, there's stuff that we've already looked at as well that have discussed this. Okay. So ghrelin, you can see it there. Give me cake. Stimulates hunger. Leptin, cholecystokinin, peptide YY, amylin, all of those affecting the stomach, stimulating the regions within the brain that promote satiety and contentment. Okay, inhibiting hunger. Inhibiting hunger. What are some last things here? Some last things, the environment, obesogenic environment, but also you being around it. Okay. Eating behavior of the family. Do they, eat always at the same time? Do they eat sporadically? Do they graze all day? How food looks. I mean, food on commercials looks fantastic. You look at it in real life, it looks like a pile of crap. You're like, what the hell? But you're still gonna eat it. It's got in front of your face. You're gonna stuff it in, right? How food tastes. If food tastes really good, you're gonna eat it. If it smells bad, you ain't gonna eat it. Okay. So your senses play a huge part in this as well. Sight, smell, taste, hearing food being made. All of this stimulates regions within the brain to kickstart the autonomic nervous system to kickstart the stomach. Physical activity. We're going to talk about physical activity next week. That's what you should get, around 150 minimum of moderate intensity activity every week to prevent weight gain. And then psychological, stimulating reward centers, drug use, okay? Different recreational drugs can stimulate regions of the brain to go find food or to not go and find food because it doesn't stimulate them. And there's a study there, food combining fats and carbohydrates are more rewarding. Stimulates that pleasure center. Oh, stimulate my pleasure center, please, in my brain. Make me feel good, make me feel happy. And food can do that as well, just as drugs can, just as anything else can. And again, these don't exist in the real world. They're man-made.